All right, welcome everyone to Isyour6covered. Appreciate you showing up. We're a little bit behind schedule. Wasn't really going to do anything, and then I figured I'd do some updates and tell you some pretty cool stuff that's going to happen this week. So let me move this camera over here, and I'll center myself over here. Yeah, I need to be over here. I'm so confused. But we got some cool stuff coming up. It is almost the end of March. I have seen some amazing times for the. Geez, let me get this crap out of the way. All right, wait for you guys to come in, anyways. And we'll get started. I got some rattly chairs. I think it's time for an upgrade. We got Pursuit of Accuracy out there, but first place is DW. We got Bearded Baristas in the house. Abigail's out there from Florida. And let's see, Pursuit of Accuracy from North Carolina. Tim Rink from Indiana. John Spider-Man Kreiderman is in the house. You missed out on a good day of VOD today, buddy. Chris Estes, 80 Baja, Lance Hawley, Luca's out there, and Robert Warren so far. So welcome to the show. You guys know that I normally do this at 8 o'clock. But I wanted to give you some updates because it's the end of the month. And not only is it the end of the month, but I have two really cool chats coming up. I believe it's going to be Tuesday and Wednesday this week. So in a few days, we are going to be talking to Ruth Sosi, way up on the high top of the United States, way up there where it's cold. Actually had a chance to shoot with her and her partners. They came down and did an ass whooping on us. So we're going to have those ladies yapping Tuesday, I believe it is. And we're going to have some fun. Hopefully they're going to do a little smack talking and tell everybody out there, all of you, how well they did and how well I did not. So that should be kind of fun. So that's going to be Tuesday, I believe. So we got Tuesday, and then Wednesday, we have Devin Tarrant from Alabama. I had a chance to shoot with her at the MPA 2-day center fire match. And you're seeing all these ladies popping up, right? And the reason why is I'm really trying to promote the sport of women in the shooting community because looking at statistics on my YouTube channel, and it'll show 98% male and 2% female. And Abigail's one of them. But we want to get people out there, not only, young and old and everything like that, new shooters, but we want to promote the sport of shooting as a whole, whether it's doing stuff we're doing right now. We're doing NRL, PRS style stuff, 3-gun, whatever the case is. Let's get, like I've always said, our nieces, our nephews, our neighbors, our friends, our families, girlfriends, wives, husbands, whatever it is that hasn't gone out and had a chance to go shoot. Teach these people that you can enjoy and love the sport of shooting, whatever type of shooting it is, because at the end of the day, especially the young ones that you're bringing out to the range for maybe the first time or whatever, is those are the ones that are going to continue shooting and grow our sport to get bigger, better, and even more awesome. So we got a few more people that showed up. So let's say hi. We got LZ USA, Pravada Racing, Tim Simonson, and Drew Bradley, and Wombat, of course, from West Virginia, just up that away. So hopefully everybody's doing well. It is unfortunately Sunday, so most of us, like myself, have to go back to work tomorrow. And this week we'll be putting together more Scarab 2s. So if you guys are on the hunt for Scarab 2s out in the Microtech world, there is more hitting the dealers as we speak. But there'll be more after this week. Cloud Kickers out there, what's going on? See, Todd says he took my girlfriend to a sporting clay shoot this weekend. She had a great time. other than the 15-ish degree temperatures this morning. Yeah, that part, unfortunately, we can't, we can wear the proper gear. Today I was freezing cold. We had a lot of wind. It wasn't extremely cold per se. What's up, Mac Ev? And MXJ23. But we had a lot of wind today shooting at VOD, Virtue of Defense, located in Old Fort, North Carolina. And if you guys didn't know, tonight's chat is sponsored by DP Gunworks, located in Arizona. So shot the Remex today. I actually got the video all completed and packed away like Pursuit of Accuracy does. So on March 30th, I know there's an extra day in there, but it's gonna show up for the new course for April. And the new course of April is gonna be fun. It's gonna be close. There's one at 36 yards and one bunch of targets at or three other targets, I should say, at 56 yards. But basically, you got to go back and forth, but there's a spin on it that makes it kind of difficult. So hopefully you guys shoot accurately. You shoot quick. I was fortunate enough to get a decent time. I think you guys can beat it, I would hope. And it should be fun to see what the times end up being. For those of you that have videos or haven't not put your videos in for the month of March for the competition, make sure you do that soon, because I'm going to be locking down all the times. It's going into practice score. And unfortunately, if you guys don't get in on that month, you won't be able to have that extra ticket to win the trophy at the end of the year. So good luck on that as well. And if you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, look at some older videos and you'll see, and then look in the descriptions down below if you need to get them, or if you're a match director, you can get the kits as well. All right, so let's go out here. I like watching a certain woman who pole vaults. Hey guys, how about giving Rick a thumbs up? Cloud Kicker, that's mighty nice of you, my man. Just so you guys know, when we get ready to do this, there was a video I had put out, and there was a pretty lady in there, and there was some not horrible comments, not even really bad comments, but I want to make sure that when I'm giving you guys a heads up, because when we have these nice ladies get on there, and we're going to talk about women in the shooting world of a mostly men's sport. Just like if you're a lady police officer in the world of mostly men job, or firefighter, if you're a lady in the firefighter, a lady that's a firefighter in the fire service, there's a lot of things that we as men can do a better job of. And when we're doing these chats, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I want to make sure that you guys are on your best behavior, as well as, this is a gun community. We want to promote the sport of shooting. And the last thing we need is some asshat out there saying some bad stuff. So if you do that, I want to have to either put you on timeout or make it so you can never comment again on the channel, which would really suck. Will they be nice? Of course they'll be nice. Will they be attractive? Yes. I guess it depends on what you think attractive is, but we're going to have a good time, and we want to learn from these ladies and see what kind of hurdles they have, as far as, some will be taller, some will be shorter, and we're going to get into that and some of the, not the benefits, but the problems that they have to overcome while shooting the same stages that maybe someone that's taller, maybe someone that's 6 foot tall. I know there's been times when I've shot a stage where I've had to stand on top of my pump pillow because I'm not tall enough. That's actually happened twice. And it's not that I'm even really that short. I'm 5'8". So somebody that's, say 5'5" or something, those are the hurdles that we got to overcome in order to make the stage happen, where maybe you're not getting in as good of a solid position because you're on your tippy toes and you're kind of wobbling around trying to make a shot. But you short sucker, yeah, Pursuit of Accuracy, I think, is the same height or maybe an inch shorter. I don't know. But we know what you're saying. Let's see. Mac Ev's going to be shooting a team match, a DMR match with the same time Ray and Kenny will be out here. And we'll be shooting a really awesome team match put on by Chris Simmons. and that should be a hoot as well. So that'll be kind of fun. We got a lot of things coming up. Got some cool videos coming out. Actually went out yesterday and tried to be a scientist. Yes, I said scientist. So my theories, we talked about it maybe a chat or two ago. And the only way to get better is to understand wind. I will say that the last couple matches that I went to, wind is pretty much always going to be a factor. Sometimes it's not as important, and sometimes it's very important. The MPA's center fire match, the 2-day match, the first day was a lot of wind, and then I went to a rimfire match, did horrible at Chris's, and then I went to another match the next day on a Sunday and came in third place, but wind was definitely something that you got to figure out. So my journey for the last 2 days, and mostly yesterday, was to understand wind. So luckily Barney and I went out to 2 different ranges yesterday and shot from a very wooded area that basically you're getting a lot of different wind coming off of the trees. And then we went to a very large, flat-ish, like field that they are going to be, putting crops in. So it's very open, very, very open. We set up targets at the larger field. This was after we went to the shorter field. Set them up at 300, 200, and 100. And because the property is so massive, we had what's up, pal? Or your pal, Matt? We had the ability to be completely, basically when you hear a wind, it's like you can either utilize this at a clock or basically a compass on, a dial on the compass. We were using time. So basically straight out from me, if you were to call that 12 o'clock, and then you got 3 over here and 9 over here. The 3 and the 9 are basically full value wind is basically what you'll hear out there. Full value means that wind is impacting the bullet as much as it's going to because it's directly 90 degrees from it. So it's going to give it the most of something. It's going to influence the bullet the most. So what we did was we figured out which way the wind was coming. It was pretty constant direction, but of course the wind was anywhere from 9 miles an hour to at 1 second, one time it went up to 21 miles an hour. So what we did was we basically laid prone. We had our 3 targets set up at what I'll call the 12 o'clock, and we had a perfect full value wind coming out at 9 o'clock. And one of us would be holding the kestrel, and we'd be like 5, 8, and we'd be calling out whatever number was. Say it's 13, 13, 13, 13, and Barney would take a shot, and he'd take a shot at 100 yards. And what we did was we did watermarks, which we normally do to, let me write it down here so you can kind of see. Here's the target. And then we had, don't worry, I'll show you here in a sec. We basically did that. So watermarks right there. The one thing we did do was we basically put another line right here because we knew the wind was coming from a certain direction, and we put our reticle on it. So right here would be Barney's target, and then down here was mine. So we'd say 13 miles an hour, we'd fire, and it would hit over here. Say dink right here. Then we could use our reticle and figure out what how many tenths of a mil or how many mils it went over. So we could say at 100 yards at a X amount of wind, we knew that it was, what's up, Six Rudders? We knew that the bullet was going to be pushed X amount depending on the distance and the miles per hour. So we started writing all this down, and what we did was we started off, why is everybody got to text me while I'm in a chat? It's probably going to be somebody that knows I'm in a chat. Nope. Oh, here's what this is from Travis. This is I'll give you guys a preview of what that's what the trophies are going to look like. They're going to be that's pretty awesome. Rimfire challenge, and then the bottom of it is going to be the helmet. So you got the shield up here, and then the bottom of it, the brim, is going to go around, and then it'll say open or whatever. So he's working on that. It looks pretty badass. But just a heads up, that's what that looks like. Shiny optics, right? So before that, we set up flagging. So flagging is just a very light, thin, plasticky material, and you pull off a little bit, you tear it, and you use it for wind indication. So another scientific test that we tried to do was, okay, if I have a strip that's 16 inches long and I have a strip that's, say, 3 feet long, what is the difference of wind? So we tied them up to 2 different trees in the same wind. And then what we did was we got the Kestrel and we said, okay, 5 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour. And what we're trying to do is memorize visually what that flag looks like. What we did come up with was it did not matter at certain miles per hour, pretty much any miles per hour, between something like 16 inches long to a really long one. So it wasn't like, because in my mind, my theory was if I have one strip that's shorter than the other, and this one's all the way out, and I know that that's 5 or more, then the longer one comes out like this to get straight. But it never really seemed to work like that, because I was thinking, oh, it'd be nice to have one that went to 5 and then one that went to 10, kind of idea. And at the end of the day, we noticed that if you take a piece about yay big, about 12 to 16 inches long, and it's at a 45-ish, right? It's kind of just 45 in it. It was right around 2.5 miles an hour. And then we noticed that right around 5, it would come up and come back down at right around 5 miles an hour. So not so much that you want to recognize the flagging. You can have it on your tripod or whatever the case is, but it's an idea to give your brain an idea of what the wind feels like on your face, what the wind feels like coming from where you can feel it on this ear, right? And it's coming across you. And then try to go, okay, I feel the wind change because it was coming here and now it's straight on. And these are all silly little things, but in order, I think, I don't know, to get better at wind calling, you gotta have some type of plan when you go out there to try to learn from. So we had flags, we were shooting, we had the Kestrel telling us what the miles per hour was on wind, and then we were seeing our impacts on the target. So after we got done kind of doing the scientific thing, we both got on our rifle and now we started guessing. Now we still had some flagging on each post at 100, 200, and 300. And the wind was, it was basically still directly 90, but every once in a while it would change. It's wind, it does what it wants to do. But it really felt like, you'd be shooting, you'd be like, oh, 2.5 mils, you got to hold 2.5 mils right. And I'd shoot, and it was actually 2.4 because we were trying to hit the bolt on the targets. And then Barney, right after me, would be, okay, 2.4. And it would confirm it. He would hit the spot, or he would shoot, and then I would hit the spot. And then as we started through this, and this was hundreds of rounds later, guys, I shot a lot of ammo. I shot a lot of ammo yesterday. But what it did was it gave me an idea of, okay, I know what this feels like. I can see what it looks like down there. And now I'm going to call my shot. So the wind would change, it always changes. What's up, Jerry Bear? The wind was changing back and forth from whatever to really horrible, 17s. And we're like, I don't know, let's try 4. and I'd hit like left edge of the plate, and I'd be like, oh, you need to hold 4.5, 5. And, we kept doing that back and forth. And that was one way to really help. And I'm no expert at this at all, but I feel like I learned a little something yesterday. And now it's just a matter of implementing it and trying it. And I will tell you, today we shot at VOD, and we were shooting. I was watching Mirage. So Mirage, if you ever look on a hot road, you can see like the gases, which isn't really gases, but it's heat coming up from the blacktop, right? If you're on like a desert road or whatever, or like a parking lot or an airport, like on the tarmac or somewhere where heat's being generated off of something and it's coming up, and it doesn't have to be concrete or blacktop, and it comes up off the ground as well. But you'll see it like do this. You'll see like these waves when you're looking through, sometimes just when you're looking, but mostly when you're looking through your scope or you're looking through spotting scope or whatever the case is. And you'll see a mirage come up if you really look, and you almost want to look kind of midway and all the way and try to figure out, especially if you're shooting like center fire stuff, and figure out, man, okay, the mirage is doing this, or maybe it's like way over here like this, or maybe there is none. And there is none can mean that there's just a shit ton of wind, right? And then you're looking at bushes, and I'm really on this like journey to try to learn wind. I think some of your best shooters out there have the ability to read wind better than most, and that's how they're getting those extra few hits, which will give them a place, higher up when it comes to, maybe getting a trophy or whatever the case is. So the journey is to try to learn wind now and to see what happens. So this whole thing is a lot of fun. If you guys have better ideas, let me know as well, because I'm always up for learning a new way. I have an answer, Rick, to wind metering at the range. Propeller beanie caps. Yeah, if that would work, that would be neat. I mean, I know it'll spin, but if you guys can figure out a way to hook it into a Kestrel, you never know. Could be the next hottest long range gizmo gadget. Maybe not do the color thing, because it's kind of a funky looking colors. Usually when I see those propeller heads. Bill Sweeney in the house. But yeah, if you can make it look better, maybe do it on a ball cap instead of like, I've seen some that are the round domes. Let's see. Your pal Matt. Just so you guys know, if you don't know, Matt has been him and his wife have been getting to mess with a brand new baby girl, which today sounded like it was a little tough for the old Matt and Mrs. Matt. Miss is Matt. That's right. So good luck, Mr. Matt. You should probably be taking a nap, because your new baby's probably going to keep you awake all night tonight. So, any questions out there so far? Kreiderman shot 500 rounds Thursday. What the hell? You're supposed to be at work Thursday, buddy. Bill Sweeney actually shot his new rifle last match, and I noticed a difference, actually. He seemed a lot more centered on his targets, and he seemed to just, I don't know, it seemed to flow a little bit better. So congrats on your new rifle, buddy. Let's see here. Let's see if we got any comments. What? Let's see here. You're an inch taller than me, Abigail says. I got short problems. I'm so happy my fiance is 6'1". Damn. He tall. I don't know if I want to be that tall. Yeah, why not? Yep, congrats. There's Drew Bradley out there. Congrats on the new addition to the household, Matt P. Got the I had all the wants. I guess I could have stayed there longer, but I have the It's basically the helium with a bunch of JP stuff on it. I'm going to do a video for that coming out, but talk and explain about all the parts. And then I got some Defender 69 grain bullets. So I'm going to try to print some groups. The stuff that I was using before, I haven't had a chance to print groups with that yet. So that was going to be a video that didn't happen. So maybe I'll get a chance and do that at Ray's house. Got my collar all jacked up here. I'm looking all jacked up, feeling dirty and grimy. Been sitting in the dirt all day long. What else do we got going? What other items do we got? It sounds like there's going to be 4 Floridians coming down for the Chris Simmons match. So that ought to be pretty good. We got Tree Feller. He's going to be headed to America pretty soon. Got some packages in the mail for him since he can't be part of NRL because he's in Australia. So he actually signed up in America so that he could be part of the NRL. What's up, KB32? You are indeed jacked up. KB's been hitting the bottle again. And it should be fun because he's got the Nationals coming up. So we're actually going to shoot the Punisher. He's going to be he's going to have an eye awakening, or he might do really well. I'm not sure. And then we're going to Nationals. So that should be pretty fun. So we'll see how we do. Hopefully it all works out. Mr. KB32. Love you, buddy. It's been a while. Gotta go shoot with KB32. Let's see here. Hopefully there's a Publix nearby for the Floridians. Yeah, that's right. Look at that. We got Foco 6'5" in the house. But yeah, other than that, we got the two. I think it's going to be pretty awesome. Maybe you guys can comment in the comments below on questions you want to ask the female shooters. Maybe you can utilize these chats and show some of your friends, your lady friends, about the shooting if they're thinking about getting into it. This will probably help. We're going to talk to them and ask them a lot of questions like what got you into shooting. You know, a lot of them are sponsored shooters. I think probably all of them are sponsored shooters. But, you know, how was it trying to get in, learning, just go through the whole gamut of things they like to do other than shooting, and kind of just do a full-on interview of them and have some fun. So if you got any questions you want to have asked, put them in the comment section after this chat's over with, and we'll try to make sure we get to them. And then that way you can get your answer. Let's see. Oh, DW says, KB32, I have yet to watch your video. AR build yet. Better be good. Heard Mr. X-Ring needs your skill set and the use of the Dremel tool. Give him a call. Yeah, he needs to grind down an ambidextrous. I know, I'm probably not saying that right. We got Mr. Otter out there from the land far, far away. On the wind topic, and if you like reading, then there's an excellent book called The Wind Book for Rifle Shooters. I'm not a big reader. I like, but this could be worthwhile. I'm going to write it down, Otter. Wind Book for Rifle Shooters. I think it'll be a cool journey to try to figure out when rifle shooters. Let me write this down for forget. How cool is it? And what's really neat too, guys, and gals, you can go out there, you have your Kestrel, or you got your stray lock thing that's plugged into your phone, and, you know, the little wind deal, and you could go outside and you could be like 4 miles an hour. You're just basically guessing. But you're giving yourself each time even a more educated guess, right? And you put it up there and you're like, 7. But now you're like, okay, 7. And you're just like, maybe close your eyes. And you're like, okay, trying to memorize what it feels like blowing on your face. And then you're like, okay, come back in, maybe an hour later, jump back out there, do it again. Oh, yeah, that feels like, I don't know, 10 miles an hour. And you're like, I was 11. Damn, that's pretty close, right? So now you're giving yourself a little more educated guesses. And where it comes into play is when you are basically getting ready for the stage, and we're writing our data down on our dope card, and we're like, okay, target's at 225 yards, and according to my Kestrel and everything, it says I need to hold 2.1 mils left. All right, and you got this all on your little dope card, and then all of a sudden the wind completely changes, or the wind doubles in value, or whatever the case is. You can at least say, okay, I know that it's probably going to go from 2.1 to maybe 4.5. So now that first round before you shoot it is probably not, maybe it's not going to hit, depending on how wide or big the target is, but maybe you'll be able to spot your hit a little easier, and you'd be like, man, it was a little more than that. And then you add on 6/10 or whatever, and then you're like, good. My greatest revolution was truly understanding my gun number and wind holds, I would say. If you get that understood, making adjustments on the fly makes life easy. Tyler Worth. Yeah, no, if you that's amazing. That's what I'm trying to get to, is going, okay, I know it probably feels like 5. I should probably be holding X amount or whatever. And I know that's all, it's one is many bullets downrange and many hours and, months and years of practicing. But all those shots that I had taken prior to yesterday, per se, I'll just say prior to yesterday, was without the Kestrel, is all just shots in the wind, right? And now trying to mentally prepare myself and think of wind as almost as important as all the fundamentals of shooting. Because if you have all the fundamentals of shooting correctly, but you're off with your wind just horribly, because you can't tell the difference between 1 mile an hour and 50 miles an hour, let's just say. Precision Rifle Network, welcome. And hello. And that's a missed shot, per se. So being able to take all those days of going to the range, and all those days of shooting matches, and all those days of shooting in different wind types, at some point it's gonna stick in here. Unfortunately, I'm hard-headed, so it hasn't as of yet, but I'm getting to the point of thinking, okay, not only is my job here today of practicing important to hit the targets, but it's more important, or just as important, to understand the wind and the holds that I need to do to accomplish an actual nice center hit. And for me, that's tough. That is tough. Let's see. Had a buddy drive his pickup truck in the parking lot in the field at various yardages and various miles per hour while chatting on two-way radios to help me see the wind speed relation still lost. That sounds like a college fraternity practical joke. I understand what you're saying, Drew, and that would work to get your Kestrel to go faster or slower. And I mean, that's a way of doing it. But I don't know. Not only is it the wind, right? While you're doing this, you should be hopefully either just looking or looking through some type of magnified optic or spotting scope or binos or whatever the case is, and trying to see all the little things moving. It seems like, when you're looking, and especially out here where there's a ton of trees, and it's kind of a lot of trees, but you see all the dead leaves on the ground. And when the dead leaves on the ground aren't going crazy, you can tell that the top of the trees are doing all sorts of magic. The tree tips are doing this back and forth. And that really is a miles per hour of some sort. It depends on the tree. It depends on all sorts of stuff, how tall it is and But it's like, if just the little branches are moving, that's a certain mile per hour. But trying to get all this in your head and go, oh yeah. And I don't know who the best wind caller in the world is. And I know there's a lot of good ones out there. But man, how nice would it be to get him on a chat and just talk about stuff. I mean, I know that there's a lot of guys I shoot with that are really good at wind calls, but it's like, there's got to be a secret recipe that either they don't want to give out, B, there is no secret recipe, or D, it's just there's no way to really tell. It is educated guesses. Basically, it's not going to be spot on 99% of the time, but the more you do it, the better off you'll get. And if you don't do it, you're not going to get any better at it because you haven't been doing it. Kind of like shooting. Back says the best rifle holder is usually the best wind call judge. Usually your spotter is the best shooter and wind call and all sorts of stuff. But let's see. It's all math, and when you can break it down to just that, it really helps reduce the noise. What also really helps is making your first shot perfect, then extra plug that info into the next target. Yeah, or even a miss. I mean, let's deal with me here. The first shot's a miss, and if I'm lucky enough to spot the impact and I'm smart enough to go, okay, which didn't work at the MPA match, by the way. Okay, that's right, half a mil. Okay, well, I don't want to go, I need to now come over more than half a mil so that I have the whole plate instead of putting it back to here. If I go to here, because I know the wind's going this way, I'll have the entire plate of guess and plus a little extra. And sometimes my brain doesn't reach that. You might reach out to Robert Brantley and see if he can come on. Okay, he sounds like he might be the wind guy. Yeah, I want to talk to the wind whisperer. Let's see. I suppose I'm too analytical and I can't see the wind other than what wind, flag, and brush is doing. I need factual info to relate it in my head. I understand the math for wind. I just can't see it. Yeah. Sometimes you don't need to see it in order to know it's there, Drew. Let's see. Let me see if I'm going to write Robert Brantley down. Maybe someone out there might know him better than some crazy dude trying to reach him on Facebook or something. Robert Brantley, I want to put wind guy. All right. Well, thanks, Joe M. I appreciate it. If you can shoot really good groups, most of the time you can usually judge the wind better than most. And that's the thing too. If you pull off a nice clean shot, I said shot, not a hit or a miss, but a shot, and you can figure out if you hit or miss, and you know that you broke the shot clean, then you can really guess. A lot of times, including myself, I will shoot the target and then I'll second guess. Was that a perfectly clean break of the trigger? I don't know. So then you're like, I'm not gonna. Let me try it again, and then you're like, oh, that's missed too. I think like everything, it boils down to just practice. Some people learn it faster than others. Some people are hard-headed and don't learn as fast. So far, I just do 0, 5, 10, 15 miles per hour, but never use 10 and 15 estimate. Only 0 and 5 guessing. If there is wind, I call it 5. If there is no wind, it is 0 hold. Best I can do out to 500 yards. Yeah, I want to get to the point where I'm like, okay, that's I know that is 5 to 7 here. Meaning feeling of the wind coming off your face. The problem is even if I knew exactly what it was here, because Kestrel can tell me that, right? Down there, a certain amount of hundreds of yards can be obviously completely different. So being able to read that stuff down there is most important, as just as important as here. So, you know, and the terrain has something to do with it, and where that wind comes in and it's compressing as it's going down or coming into a mountain, all this is compressing and having to come up. There's a lot of things, you know, and then you got basically eddies as they come over the hill, which is different. So if you're on the hill and you're reading eddy, that wind can be completely different than what it really is. So knowing all that and figuring out how the wind's coming over and what it's hitting as it's coming over is just stuff that I got to learn one of these days. I'm personally a big believer that wind at the gun is more important than wind at the target. A small deflection early is more important than a large deflection downrange. Yeah, Joe, we were talking about that yesterday. Barney and I were, and I was telling him the same thing. What I just said was a little bit different, but I'm telling him if I'm off this much, just a little bit, but as I keep going, it's coming way over here. Right? It just kind of keeps magnifying at that degree. And now you're hoping that the wind's really going to push it back in. So yes, I agree with that. But just as importantly is knowing what it's doing down there as well. Today's a perfect example. I was watching Mirage. Let's see, how did this work out? We were at VOD. Ray was shooting a target at, I think we started off, we're shooting a 22 out to 700 yards. And as we're going out, there was a certain section of VOD where things start to get really funky. And I'm looking at the Mirage coming off the ground through the spotting scope. I'm looking at the brush doing this. And he's holding opposite of what I'm telling him. I'm telling him where the impacts are, but it's where he's holding, so he knows what he's holding. I'm like, yeah, you're like way, way left or way, way right. And what's up, X-Ray? And I was like, man, but the wind, he's all, I see exactly what you're talking about. And it was weird. The Mirage was just way over here like this. All the bushes are like that. And he's basically shooting this way, and the wind was pushing his bullet. So I was like, wow, that's crazy. Oh, there's impact. Hey, Eagle Eye Shooting, just in case you didn't know, you're sponsoring tonight's chat. Along with, can it be, there we go, Gold Peak tonight. We're drinking Gold Peak tonight. True story. It's always true stories. I don't got time for fake stories. Can you see your bullet trace through your Vortex scope? Yeah, you can see your bullet trace. Depends on what you're shooting. Depends on the temperatures. It depends on the caliber. I will say when you're shooting a 22, I like shooting Ely because you can see them easier. It's a silver bullet. Seems to get the sun sparkles off of it a little better, a little more visible. But if you're zoomed in like this and you're trying to spot a guy's hit on a target, right? You're not seeing it until it gets to the target. So you're not going to see the traces easy. So if you back out, you're behind him or her, you're going to see it a lot easier because you're going to see it leave and then come down and back into the target. But a lot of times, you know, especially when you got a really powerful spotting scope and you're like right on the target, well, all you see is the target and barely around it. So you're not seeing it until it hits. So you're not even giving your optic a chance to see that trace. Tyler Orr says the first third is the most important. You can get spun out quick if you're looking beyond the first 1/3. It matters just incrementally. Why is everybody? Oh. I am answering his. For those of you that just showed up, here's what the rimfire target's our trophy's gonna look like when Travis gets it done. Come on, cameraman. Man, I'm gonna fire my cameraman. He sucks. Oh wait, that's me. There we go. So it's a shield on a helmet. There we go. That's almost visible. So it's going to be badass when it's done. And then it'll have the helmet part on the bottom. So that's going to look cool. Yeah, so it's a matter of, but Tyler Orth, the first third, I would say is most beneficial, because if it's already screwed up on the first third, and we're talking about looking for wind if you just showed up, talking about trying to figure out wind, how to feel wind, how to do all sorts of stuff. And I've been on this little scientific project for a couple of days now, trying to figure out the best way to understand it, feel it, guess it, shoot in it. And that one range was really cool, because you could basically have full value 90, or you could be quartering it and trying to figure out the difference. And I will say that the Kestrel was pretty damn spot on. I was trying to see if the Kestrel was, how close it was. Maybe it was way off. Maybe it was super close. And come to the realization that that computer that's built into that amazing little unit, magical unit, is really spot on. But you have to be, especially when you got all these gusts, if you think it's 7, you hold for 7 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden it dies to 5 or goes to 12. You know, there's that part that you just can't figure out. And when your turn comes up, you know, it could be a solid constant 6 miles an hour, and then it's your turn to shoot the stage, and now it's 15. And then you're like, ah, shit. Let's see. Just sat a big bowl of butterflowered Act 2 popcorn down in front of me. Bring on the dancing ladies. No dancing ladies, buddy. Let's see. Almost done finalizing these Voodoo mags. It'll work for both Remex and Voodoo. Nice, Eagle Eye. Let's try one of those bad doggies out and see. I put that Remex through some beating yesterday. I was even running Joaquin Jack Nava sent me rain/dust cover, and I was running it in between stages at a couple of the matches. And then also yesterday it was just freaking windy, and you get enough junk in your gun, it's going to suck. I'm going to start with my Kestrel. So Joe M says, start with my Kestrel and check mirage, trees, shrubs, grass, downrange. If everything looks like it isn't the same direction, I run with the Kestrel. If I see mirage going the opposite direction of what I'm measuring, where I'm at, my first shot is center target, and I'm going from there. Okay, that makes sense. You know, you hold center, you're off this way or that way, you measure it in your reticle, you're like, okay, well, wind is 5/10 left now, and then you continue on. And then if you got to keep going out, you might want to add a couple tenths to that as you work your way out. Joe M's always got good answers in here. He does a lot of shooting though, so it's nice to get his thought. Let's see, did I miss anything else? How long have I been yapping for? Yeah, this might be an early chat. Impacts. That's the great thing about YouTube. You say one thing. So like every time someone hits a target, you say impact, right? And you kind of heard impact. On Kenny's video, he would say impact. So we've been giving him shit ever since. So we'll call him up and say, well, is this impact? It is tough when the stage is 1 round per target, far to near, and then near to far. Yeah, Bill Sweeney, I agree. And we had some of those this last match, didn't we? And that makes it tough. So say it was 5 tenths out there. Maybe it's 4 tenths, 3 tenths, 2 tenths, and 0. You know what I mean? And those are the things you got to like remember in your head. I don't know. It's tough. Of course, if everybody could do it, it wouldn't be any fun because everybody could do it. As long as it's rimfire. Yeah, I can see bullet trace through your Vortex scope as long as it's rimfire. That's a joke because at the MPA match, which Ray didn't shoot, unfortunately, I I kept hitting, and I talked about it already. You guys know when I screw up because I show everything. I kept missing the target to the right, and my brain kept going, okay, we'll hold 2/10 more, 2/10 more, 2/10 more. When I needed to go hold 6/10 or 8/10, and then I should hit that plate. But so what he's saying is I was seeing but I wasn't seeing trace. I was seeing my worm killer. I had a bunch of worm killers. I was shooting worms while everybody else was shooting steel targets that day. So I got that going for me. What's funny is the Remex runs Ely through the Voodoo Mag without issues. Scratching my head on that. What's funny is the Remex runs Ely through the Voodoo Mags. How the hell did you get a Voodoo Mag in there to work? Let's see. Dito, he says, that book has a lot of technical info that really goes into depth. Will be interesting to read. Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out. What's up, Richard Arthur? How you doing? So Ray put a video out today. It's pretty cool on ARs, on different barrel lengths and velocities, and pretty neat. But after that, we actually shot I can't think of what it is. I think he's still in here. There is a scope mount, and I believe it goes to 100 MOAs, or 100 mils, actually. This one's mils. And what's cool is you can dial. We dialed out to 700 yards, which ended up being 50. What the hell was it? 56 or something like that, without even utilizing the reticle. So without even dialing the reticle. So that the scope was at 0, and we were just dialing he was just dialing the base. It'd be 10 mils, 20 mils, 30 mils kind of thing. And it was pretty freaking awesome. We got Mr. Bald and Curious out there. How do you sleep after drinking a gallon of sweet tea? Sometimes I don't. And then other times I fall asleep like a baby. I don't know. Sometimes if I drink like a home brewed tea, I think it has more like caffeine in it or something. What's up, Vanessa? And sometimes I'll be laying in bed and just be like, man, I can't go to bed. I can't go to bed. And then finally I'll wake up. And then the alarm clock will go off, which seemed like 10 minutes. 10 minutes of sleep's worth. Sometimes straight to bed like a little baby, like a wee little baby. We do it for the challenge and the camaraderie. We need to keep learning to stay sharp. That's right, Bill Sweeney. Well said. Click on that. So all you guys can be motivated by Mr. Bill Sween Dog. Burn it down, Bill. Homebrewed tea is the best, Vanessa said. She showed up just in time talking about tea. That is right. Homebrewed is good. It's just not as portable. Just not as portable, I've noticed. Ball and Curious says, sleep like a baby after King Bourbon. Yeah, we can all sleep good with that stuff. Loading up some bulk 308 crimped pockets are the worst. Oh, yeah. Actually, just got 2,000 rounds of the VLD Burger 105s came in. And then I was lucky enough because of Mr. Actually, I haven't seen him out here. Hold left edge and send it. He sent me a link to a company that had the 105 hybrids, and I actually was lucky enough to pick up quite a few of those as well. So I'm stocked up on the 6mm 105s. So now I can continue shooting this damn centerfire crap because I just love reloading. It's just I cannot just go a day without thinking about how much the lovely reloading is. Dragon Milk Stout at midnight. That'll put you to sleep. Those beers are too dark. If that's what you're thinking. I must make another batch tomorrow. Actually, Mr. Dick Hedges has 500 rounds. What does he got left? 500 rounds of 6GT and 200 rounds of 308 he's got to get done soon for some matches. So let's put a moment of silence together for that reloading adventure. Reloading used to be so fun. And then we had rifle cases. Drinking a lot of tea has bad side effects. No sleep, digestion issues, headaches, but what the hell? DW. That's it. You got to have something to complain about. Let's build you a 6GT AR-10, Rick. No, I don't want an AR-10. Actually, can you see it in here? Oh, it's down here. Lord knows I can't touch it, or the YouTube gods will strike vengeance upon the live chat. But down there, I got a lower and upper 308. It's off a POF lower, but no, I'd rather go 6GT bolt gun than a AR-10. So he's shooting 6GT. I don't know anything about a 6GT, but I wouldn't mind trying it out. Are you going to buy the new SIG P322? Man, I got it. No, I don't think so. Not unless some crazy cool thing is on it. All those problems exhausted me and long before tea and coffee. Yeah, there you go, Vanessa. See, don't be messing with our tea and coffee, right? I don't drink coffee, but for those of you that do, you got to have some crutch. You got to have some reason to wake up in the morning. You know what I mean? You got to have one. What? Back? The wall's looking empty here. I guess most of them are in a bag right now. The 322 pistol. I don't know which one that is. I'll have to. I haven't been doing much pistol looking lately. My plan, which was a couple years ago, was to not buy new pistols. And this may be something you guys want to talk about. I know a lot of people that buy a new pistol. One, because they want to, and because they can. They're damn Americans, and they can do whatever the hell they want. But two, I thought it would be better for me to spend less time trying to buy the latest and greatest, because I have a really nice pistol that I shoot for my competitions, but to actually get better with that same pistol, utilize the money I would have bought a pistol in that's just going to sit on the wall, and spend the money on going to the range and shooting it more, I think is more beneficial than buying a bunch of pistols. I know there's a lot of YouTube channels out there, and they buy the latest pistol every time, because that's what they do. They review pistols for the most part. But I haven't bought a pistol in a long time. I mean, I carry a P365. I think I've had it in mine for a couple years, or a year at least, and I love that gun, and it's got enough ammo for me. It feels like shooting a full-size pistol, and that's good enough for me. I'm hoping I never have to use the damn thing, honestly. The P322 is a 22 LR version of the 320 9mm. That's correct. I remember seeing a video on that, actually. It looks pretty badass, actually, especially with the red dot on there. Let's see, the tank was bigger than me on that coffee system. Let's see, most people wake up and go to work to get away from their spouses and kids, right? Hidden Steel, California. What's up, Junior? Let's see here. What's the pistol you use in competition? It is an Infinity. It is a magnificent work of art. It really is. It's very, very smooth. Was very, very expensive, but I shoot that thing. I carry it in Wyoming. I carry it in New Mexico. I drag it through the dirt. Snipers unknown. Honestly, I consider all this stuff behind me a tool. And if it gets scratched, gets dinged, no, I'm not the happiest about it, but it is what it is. I'm not out there trying to mess with it and throw it in the mud and test it like that because I already know it's going to be in the mud and is going to hopefully shoot when I need it to shoot in these matches. And it does an amazing job as far as being very accurate. And, but it's an Infinity. It's a 2011 and it's a freaking amazing pistol. Let's see. Well, let's see. P320C 9mm. Yeah, there's a lot of amazing, great pistols out there nowadays. There's really nothing I've seen that's like, let's see. What's the coolest pistol that just came out? See, nothing's really popping into my head. I know the Aliens a couple years ago. That was kind of new and different. I think Bald and Curious actually has one of those, don't you? But like a pistol, they all seem kind of almost the same. They're all just, you either got the polymer versions or you got the metal frames. At the end of the day, there's really nothing super badass that's come out, in my opinion. Let's see. Eagle Eye enjoyed watching the 22 caliber rifle fixes. Yeah, it was actually did a really good job. Some people took that and got butthurt about it. At the end of the day, he was just showing you guys as a consumer that certain issues happen. He had a stack of them basically that people were fed up with their certain rifle. They brought him to Eagle Eye, said, fix this damn thing before I throw it through the office window. And I completely understand. I was having some of the same issues, and it's super frustrating. You're doing really well. You know, say you're on your 5th stage, you're like doing well. You get to the next stage and you got feeding issues and you're trying to get the magazine out and it's puking out rounds and just everything turns into a big shit sandwich. You're like, well, I just dropped 8 points because my rifle went to shit. And now 8 points is a lot. 8 points in this game of PRS NRL can definitely put you way down below. But it gets frustrating after a while. There was a few times when I was still shooting that certain rifle. See, I haven't said anything. Where I was doing really good. And then I had a couple bad stages and I knew that the rifle actually lost the match for me. And then I was fed up, done with it. I got enough issues trying to hit the target, trying to figure out the wind, and now I got a rifle that's fighting against me. You know, I got enough issues. So if the rifle ain't helping you, it's hindering you, and it's time to get it the hell gone. The one pistol I wish I would have never sold was the 2011 STI built by Dawson Precision. It always put a smile on my face. Now I run SIG. It works. It's just not fancy. The SIGs are nice. There's a lot of people that shoot that SIG Legion. Is it called a Legion? I know Bald and Curious has a couple. I know Rob from Pops Quest. I think he's got like 3 or 4 of those things, and he shoots. And they're a great pistol. Actually, X-Ring has one as well. And I like everything about it. It's got a good weight to it, and it shoots well. But once you shoot at a really, really high-end 2011, it's hard to be excited about some of that stuff. And I'm not saying that trying to be a jerk, but until you rack the slide on some of them really high-end 2011s, it is just like glass with perfect, like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just too damn nice. And then the trigger is perfect, and then the reset is just right there. You know, they're just freaking amazing art, basically. Let's see. Thanks, Miss Kitty. I'm able to buy Voodoo Actions now, working on fixing the last part to make it, which is the magazine. Yeah. Yep. 3500 9mm, 600 6.5 Creedmoor, 300 3mm on the presses this week. Damn, Peter, killing it, dude. Let's see. I always enjoy Eagle Eye's experience in showing us buyer problems that are fixable. Everything basically can be fixable unless your gun just malfunctions and blows up. But, you know, you got guys like Eagle Eye Shooting, or really it's DP Gunworks. But they spend the time trying to figure out the fix instead of just making it work, but it's not working perfect. And anything mechanical will and can and will break at some point. So, except for a Ford Ranger. I love those TikTok videos. Let's see. Can't buy skill, though. I own an Infinity and still suck at 2-gun. Yeah, Eagle Eye. I suck at 3-gun, but I enjoy it. And all we can do is practice and get better, buddy. Had a P226 X5, great gun, but a pain in the butt getting parts for it. Europe. Now running a Shadow 2 with TSO from CZ. CZs are nice too as well. I had one. It was the tactical version. I never went full tilt and got like the orange and the other ones, the higher end ones. But I already had a couple Infinities at the time. I got rid of one Infinity. But I still have my favorite 9mm. What an amazing pistol. There's videos on it, some old videos on it. I've had it for quite a few years now. It's just a damn perfect pistol. See, it puts a smile on your face too. I tell you what, it does. I enjoy shooting that thing. I enjoy when people have never seen one before, and I'm like, here, try this one out. Try the trigger out. And they're like, I'm like, okay, keep your finger back. And then we'll rack the slide, and I'm like, okay, now let it out slowly. And it'll be like, as soon as I even start, it's like, and then it's like, okay, now pull the trigger. They're like, damn, that's nice. I can't believe how smooth that slide is. I'm like, yep. Unfortunately. And I would much rather have one of those than 20 of a bunch of just all the other polymer guns. I would much rather have one of those than, let's say, whatever that cost divided by whatever polymer, metal, it don't matter. Whatever duty-ish rifle or pistol would be, I would much rather have one of those than a bunch of pistols I can't shoot at the same time with anyways. Oh, Vanessa Key says, my Ford Ranger still chugs along. At least I can get parts and fix it. Oil change this coming weekend in the driveway. Awesome, Vanessa. I don't know if Vanessa, you know what I'm talking about with these TikTok videos and the Ford Ranger, right? If not, go to TikTok and type in Ford effing Ranger, and you will see some funny ass stuff. Let's see here. We're at 1 hour and 8 minutes. That's pretty good. I'm going to update you guys again. We got 2 people. Actually, we got a group. I don't know what you call a group of ladies on Tuesday. But we got a group of ladies on Tuesday coming to get interviewed, talking about the VOD match and how they took a bunch of trophies way up north, and we got our butts whooped. And then also we got Devin. She'll be here not here, but she'll be live on our chat on Wednesday as well. So we got some ladies in the house coming up. Make sure you show up. It'll be at 9:00 Eastern time, or 8:00 if you're in Alabama or in the central area. And we're going to have fun. We're going to learn, and we'll see how they got interested and started in the world of shooting. They're all sponsored shooting ninjas, so it should be pretty fun to watch. I can say that I think Devin kicked my ass and Ruth kicked my ass. Actually, I can guarantee Ruth did, because she got second in the match. And I believe Devin also whooped my ass at the Center Fire 2-day match in Georgia. Was it Georgia? Georgia. So I avoid TikTok when I can. Well, you might want to just take a tiny little break and type in, actually go to YouTube and try typing in Ford effing Ranger, Vanessa, since you have a Ford Ranger. And that's going to be your new song. You're going to be driving around town and blasting on your speakers, and you're going to be one badass chick. That's all I can say. I think the show with the ladies will be a great thing. Encourage other females to get involved and be 2A. No, for sure, Drew. And that's the point. The point is, hopefully you guys, because we have Vanessa Kitty, we got Abigail. You two have always been a huge supporter on the women's side. You guys are always out in the chat, but it's really, I don't think there's any other ladies that really watch this, at least live. So I'd like to get more women involved in the sport of shooting, and hopefully these chats will encourage people, ladies especially, to go out and do some shooting. Get involved. Go sign up for a match, whatever the case is. Have a good time. So again, Tuesday, Wednesday, 9 o'clock Eastern. Let's have some fun. Let's be gentlemen and ladies out there asking questions during those comments. If you have a certain question or comment or something that I can use for both of them, maybe it's a cool question, leave it in the comment section after this thing goes where it's no longer live, and it'll be in the comment section. I'll go back to it the day before we do the actual live chat with these ladies, and then I'll read those comments or questions and the DW. That's what we don't want to do, DW. I mean, I totally agree. I am a man, but just be careful with the comments when we do the live chats. Other than that, hope you guys Ramsey Country's out there. I just saw him pop up. Welcome to the show. Unfortunately, Ramsey Country, we are getting the hell out of here. 15 minutes early, basically. But be on the lookout for that. If you can convince my wife, maybe she won't be as mad about how much time I spend shooting. There you go. No, for sure. Hopefully those ladies will inspire her to shoot and actually want to go to the range with you. That's what I'm looking for. Find those ladies that want to go cruise around and shoot matches together and travel the United States shooting matches. I mean, sounds like fun to me. All right. You guys have a wonderful, enjoyable night. I will see you very soon, and we will talk and have a good time on the next live chat. And other than that, BC Extreme Outdoorsman says, hi, Rick. Sorry I'm late. Not a problem, my man. It was 9:30 when I started this. I wasn't even going to do a live chat, but I figured, you know what? I'm going to update everybody. Again, if you guys have a time for the IY6C Target Challenge, send me the email in the video because I need to add your times and put those in there. Oh, dude, the Voodoo Mags are running flawless with the Remex. Just ran 50 rounds. Veely, fast as I can. Wow. All right, I'm going to call you here in a minute, Eagle Eye, right after this ends. All right, you guys have a wonderful day. I can't stop. There's too many there at Ford Ranger. All right, love you guys. Take care. See you on the next one. I got to get out of here before I keep writing comments. And